This is an audiobook for fanfiction named Omniverse Trip with Gacha System, Seirei Gensouki, by none other than yours truly, Iekami _1126. This is the part 1 of this series, containing chapters from 1 to 5. Synopsis. Important things first. Reincarnation, wishes, a system, Iekami, magic, harem, doing whatever IMC want, semi-op MC, revenge. This story has all of those. Omniverse travel, robbing whole worlds, kingdom building, yes to all of these. MC is semi-op and is on his path to becoming op. Sharing gun at the start? Nope. But MC has 10 season. Shameless MC? Yep. Shameless comedy? Yep, from time to time. NTR. Nope, I am not a fan of that stuff. I am writing this novel after reading fanfic on web novel in which the writer writes whatever he wants, so keep that in mind that it has also affected me. The book version of this story is being uploaded on scibblehub and web novel every Monday. Let's start the story from Chapter 1. Chapter 1. True God and 3 Wishes. Congratulations, young man, due to your heroic deed of saving a young child at the cost of your own life. I, the only true God, give you a chance to live a second life in your desired world, alongside 3 wishes, says the ethereal man in front of me, who suddenly appeared in front of me out of nowhere while I was mulling upon my death. And this whole situation is screaming shady in my head. Just a minute ago I was on my way home after finally going through a scary ride in life called the end semester exam. At one of the cross sections on my way home, I was waiting for the traffic light to go red. From the corner of my eye, I saw a kid running past me after a ball, which somehow had rolled over to the middle of the running road, and at the same time, a truck was moving towards the kid at high speed. Seeing all this, even before my mind could think things through, my body reacted, and just as the truck was going to collide with the kid, I reached beside the kid and pushed him out of the truck's way. Then the only thing I remember was the sound of my bones breaking and a hellish pain assaulting my nerves. Then I passed out and found myself as a ball of light floating in an unknown place. And just as I was mulling over my death, this old man with ethereal glow claiming to be the only true God appeared in front of me. Just as I ended my monologue, the old man in front of me said, "If you have finished your monologue, do we move on? I also have other things to attend to," said the old man in front of me. Haha, sorry about that. I hope you can understand how important it is to keep the readers well informed. Otherwise some smartasses will keep commenting, asking questions about how I died, why I am here, etc., etc., I said in annoyance. Yes, young man, I can understand, as I am also a writer of my own story. Okay, let's get back to the topic. I give you a chance to live a second life in the world you desire, alongside 3 wishes with it, said the old man while raising 3 fingers, and then continued, so please ask if you have any questions. Hearing this, internally I was screaming shady at the top of my lungs, so I decided to ask him directly, to which he replied, yes. Indirectly, your death is my mistake, as that truck was moving on my command to harvest the life of the kid. But due to your intervention, or let's say sacrifice so that it sounds good, the kid didn't die. So I am here to repent my mistake by giving you a second life, alongside 3 wishes with it, said the old man. Sounds fair enough to me. Can I ask some questions though? I said. Sure, he replied. Okay, well, first question, will I have my memories or do I have to wish for it separately? I asked. Of course, you will have your memories, otherwise how can it be said to be a second life? Replied the old man. Thank you. Then my second question is, does my desired world mean any world, even from anime, manga, and the novel world? I asked. Yes, your desired worlds include all the worlds present in the Omniverse, including all the worlds of friction like anime, manga, novels, movies, etc., said the old man. Nice. So is it reincarnation or transmigration? I read some light novels that I enjoyed, I asked excitedly. Exactly, and you get to pick which one you want, he said with a smile. Inwardly I'm screaming and shouting with joy. I'm about to blow up with excitement. This is something great. Hundreds of worlds are running through my head like Naruto or Bleach, or DxD, or waifus. How about One Piece? But then all of a sudden my mind grinds to a halt and starts screaming at me, dangerous. Those worlds are dangerous. I need a simple but adventurous world to begin with, and I've got just the one, and it's just yesterday that I read its latest novel, which has cleared some mystery about the history of that world. Oh, I created a rhyme, a mystery about history. Okay, let's end here, otherwise I myself don't know what other nonsense I will write. Okay, I have one last question. I asked, and he nodded. My third question is, will I have a body that's able to use all types of different magic-based systems, such as chakra or spiritual power or magic? I asked. This is good to know, or I'd have to stick to certain worlds. Of course, but you'll still have to train in those systems to be able to use them, he answers. Okay, now then, if you're done with all your questions, let's get into your wishes, okay? He smiles happily. Alright, well then, for my first wish. Do you know the novel, Bringing the Farm to Live in Another World? I asked. Ah yes, that's a good story. Let me guess, you want the farm system. Oddly, none else has ever asked for that one before. May I ask why you want that one? The old man asked curiously. Well, you see, the world I have decided to transmigrate into is one of those Iekami worlds, and the person I have decided to transmigrate with didn't have much of a good life at the start. No family, no home, only a single person who he can call a friend for the first few years. But later on he also has to depart with that person, as he is falsely branded as a criminal for having attempted to murder the second princess of the kingdom in which he lives in. So I want to change how he lives his life, and to do the first change, I want a place that I can call home and will always be with me, even if I were to go to an entirely different world. Okay, I got it. You just want a stable home for yourself and your future family. Plus the fast-growing food means things to eat and sell is a great choice, my boy. God agreed with my choice, thanks, and I want to make it my safe haven so no one can get in unless I let them in, including godly beings. That's my home. I want it fully safe and protected. I am even ready to trade some extra features for it. I told him seriously. Haha. Boy, no trade is needed. Consider it as a small gift from me, said the old man with a hearty laugh. My second wish, I want artificial intelligence in a form of spirit like I'm imagining right now for my system, which is also connected to my inner world, and the system itself is my third wish, about which we will talk later in detail, I said. Okay, it is feasible to do, I agree, said the old man. My third wish, I want a custom anime-style system, but I want a fair system. None of that top crap I've read in the novels where the MC gets super items and bloodlines in every quest, or the system forces the MC to accept quests that he doesn't want to with the content that he doesn't want to do. And connect the AI I asked for is my second wish with it, I said. Well, you made a good choice there, so describe how you want your system and I'll make it. The old man said. Alright, I want a classic system with the following features, I tell him as I sketch out the basic system I want. Status, quantify my current attributes and skills. Inventory, infinite space that can store non-living things under the effect of time and space. Status. Gacha, that allows me to roll a gacha every day, which can also be stacked. The rewards, from skills, talents, technology, energies, bloodlines, etc., must vary from common rank to legendary rank. Mission, these are created based on the goals I have. Quest, this will give me quests for my future actions that can change the world's timeline. Store, a place where I can buy items from all over the Omniverse or sell the unwanted rewards I got from the Gacha in exchange for shop points. Summon, allow me to summon servants from the entire Omniverse, with 100% loyalty towards me. World travel, allow me to travel to the different worlds in the Omniverse of my choice, including date, time, and person, with the time adjusting feature. With AI, this system is usually what everyone picks. Okay, I agree with all the features that you have mentioned, the old man said with a smile. Thank you, I said. Save the thank you for later. Now tell me, which world have you decided to transmigrate into and as whom? The old man asked in a curious tone. About that, I want to transmigrated in, as after incident, the night before his first day in the Royal Academy of the Kingdom of, I stated my wish. Haha, boy, that's a new one. No one has ever asked for that world ever before. So that's all? The old man said. Yes, that's all. Thank you very much. Well, I guess this is goodbye for now. I prepare myself mentally for what comes next. Of course, though, I'll be watching over you. Remember to have fun and not take everything so seriously, he advises me. I can do that. Then thank you God, I reply with a smile on my face. After saying that, everything goes dark. Chapter 2, Transmigration, Part 1. Systems initializing. 1, 14, 27, 34, 52, 66, 85, 100. complete. Soul binding to host complete. Subduing primary soul completed. Primary soul binding with the host complete. Syncing artificial intelligence complete. Good morning host. A cold robotic voice woke me from my sleep. Huh? Who am I? What is this place? I said as I looked around myself, only to see an unfamiliar room, containing only a single bed, a wardrobe, a study table, and 2 doors with unknown destinations. And just as I was about to stand up from the bed, I was assaulted by a hellish pain in my head which lasted only for a second and then disappeared, leaving behind the memory of the soul of the previous host of this body, whom I had just merged with. You are in one of the hostel rooms of the Royal Academy of the Kingdom of Beltram assigned to you, host, came the cold voice. Oh. Does that mean I have successfully transmigrated? I exclaimed in excitement. Yes host, said the cold voice. Ah. That is a relief. So I take it with you, my system and new partner? I asked the voice. Confirmed. Would you like me to start the customization setup? The voice asks. Customization? Sure, let's start, I say eagerly. Customization starting. Name, gender, voice, personality, body type for farm. Okay, let's start with the name. How about Tifa? Name. Tifa accepted. As for your gender, of course, you are going to be female as I don't want a guy in my head. I need a wife, I said as I thought my first wife, the first of my harem. Muhahaha. Gender, female accepted. Now, for the voice. I don't want this cold voice, so get rid of it, and replace it with a sweet, loving, and caring voice like a nice loving wife should have. I say confidently. Voice, sweet, loving, caring wife accepted. Please choose personalities up to 3. A soothing voice sounds in my head. Personalities. 1. Kind. 2. Hardworking. 3. Motherly. 4. Bossy. 5. Airhead. 6. 18. Wandeer. 19. Stalker. 20. Loving. Okay, let's pretend that I never saw those scary options and select kind, smart, and motherly, I said after thinking seriously. Personality, loving, smart, and motherly accepted. Now for your body, I want just a nice night black hair, beautiful galaxy eyes, hot body, and the classic stay-at-home housewife. I select my choice, as I have a thing for proper Asian girls. And on top of that, nothing is better than a warm cuddly wife waiting for you at home after a hard day's work. Body, night black hair, beautiful galaxy eyes, hot body, beautiful housewife accepted. Customization complete. Restarting 27.63.86. 100% complete. A sweet voice starts ringing in my head and I picture a black hair goddess in my mind, leaving me absolutely stunned. She is the picture-perfect woman smiling at me. Good morning dear. Tifa's perfect voice rings in my mind. I take critical damage. Never in my past life did I have a girlfriend. This is just too great. Tears stream down my face in classic anime style. Hello there. I choke out. So cute, you're shy. She giggles into my mind and then I hear the continuous sound of the camera clicking and Tifa saying that she is going to take a lot of pictures of me and will create a large album of them later on, that she will show to my harem in the future. Scary. It must be my imagination. Yes, imagination. Okay, let's change the topic. Tifa, can you please show me my status? I asked as I prepared my heart, as after seeing my malnourished body I don't have many expectations anyway. Of course darling. Tifa happily pulls up the page for me. Status. Name, Ryokarasuki/Haruto Amakawa. Gender, male. Race, human. 0% awakened. Bloodline, dormant. Age, 7 years, 20 years. Lifespan, 100 years, normal human. Title, Transmigrator. Effect, increases learning speed by 15%. Hero, effect, increases stats by 50% when fighting against world's evil. Types of energies, mana. Level, 0. This is the Omniversal Power Level Scale. Strength, 01. Vitality, 02. Dexterity, 02. Agility, 01. Intelligence, 15. Wisdom, 09. Manu/magic, 600. Magic resistance, 30. Luck, 25. Average value of STR index for a normal adult is current world is around 3. Note, the body is malnourished, advised to eat healthy food to negate this effect. SP, 0. Magic elements, wind, fire, water, earth. Talent, 1. Learning. Skills, levels, E, F, D, C, B, A S S S S S S S S S plus X class 1 2 equals novice, 2 4 equals beginners, 4 6 equals experienced, 7 8 equals advanced, 9 10 equals master. Gamer's mind, SSS. Keep calm and rational thoughts no matter what the situation is. Passive. Swordsmanship, F. Increase your proficiency in using any type of sword. Proficiency increases with the level of the skill. Class, 5/10. Passive. Hand-to-hand fighting, F. Increase your proficiency in hand-to-hand fighting. Proficiency increases with the level of the skill. Class, 4/10. Passive. Inventory, 1,000 gold for farm. Can't be removed from farm to farm is level 10. Starter pack. 1 Gacha ticket. Contracted spirit. Oh, it's much better than what I expected. But, Tifa, where does the swordsmanship and hand-to-hand fighting skill come from, and what is this? I asked Tifa in confusion. Oh that, dear, did you forget that Haruto's grandfather used to run a dojo, and while he lived with him, his grandfather trained him in the way of swordsmanship and hand-to-hand fighting. Then, when your soul merged with him, you got his skills. As for it is a skill that original Haruto has from his past life. Tifa with patience. Oh, that one, so that's how it is. Then next, Tifa, please explain what this omniversal power level scale. I ask her in confusion. Dear, it is the power leveling used to measure where you stand in the entire omniverse in terms of power. Say, different verses in the omniverse are divided into 4, that are, lower, middle, upper, and supreme. In each of these 4 categories of verses, there are worlds that are also categorized in a similar way, which is, lower world, middle world, and the upper world. The limit of power that existence could acquire depended very much on their verse and the world they are in. To simplify things, the category of omniversal power is measured by the following numerical levels. Inferior verse, normal world, maximum level equals 5. Lower world, maximum level equals 100. Middle world, maximum level equals 500. Upper world, maximum level equals 1000. Middle verse, lower world, maximum levels equals 5000. Middle world, maximum level equals 10,000. Upper world, maximum level equals 100,000. Upper verse, lower world, maximum level equals 1 million. Middle world, maximum level equals 10 million. Upper world, maximum level equals 100 million. Supreme verse, lower world, maximum level equals 100,000,000,000,000,000,000. Middle world, maximum level equals 100,000,000,000,000,000,000. Upper world, maximum level equals 9999999999999. No one has reached even half of this power yet. Multiversal, maximum level equals infinity. The only being in this range is the only true God you have met before. Wow, so that old man is cool. Then it's good that I have made a good relationship with him. Okay, thank you Tifa for explaining all this. Now can you open the starter pack? I ask eagerly, waiting for the free stuff. Starter pack open. Receive 10,000 system points, 100 turnip seeds, 100 potato buds, and 125% off ticket for the shop. Okay, well then Tifa, can you open the Gacha for me? I want to try my luck. I ask after I finished looking at the free stuff. Gacha open apostrophe, said Tifa, and a new screen appeared in front of me. On it is a Gacha machine, a wheel at its center, half of which is hidden inside, with its lever on the side to start it. There is also a small box at the top right corner with 1x tickets, written on it, showing how many times I can roll the Gacha. Okay, Tifa, wish me good luck. Let's roll the Gacha, I said in excitement, and Tifa wished me good luck and mentally pulled the lever. With that, the wheel started rolling at a speed faster than that of light, and after a good 5 minutes, it started to slow down and finally stop at. Congratulations, you have won a pair of Tensegan eyes, legendary rank, from World of Naruto. Congratulations, dear, you got a legendary rank on your first try, Tifa said in a cheerful voice, when then changed into a hesitating one as she said, but. Part 2. Congratulations, dear, you got a legendary rank on your first try, Tifa said in a cheerful voice, when then changed into a hesitating one as she said, but. It is useless for you right now, as you don't have Chakra to use. Hearing this, my emotions changed 1,000 times in a second, from stunned to excited, happy, then stunned again, and lastly sad and disappointed. Feeling my emotions, Tifa started consoling me like a mother as she said, "Oh dear, don't be sad like that. It is useless right now doesn't mean that it can be useful in the future. You just have to cultivate chakra, which can be done by buying a chakra manual from the system shop. Then follow the manual to cultivate chakra. Don't forget its abilities, attractive and repulsive forces, Tensigan chakra mode, truth-seeking balls, all 5 nature transformations and yin-yang release, and puppet control. So, after acquiring chakra, Tensigan will be one of your trump cards." Hearing Tifa's reasoning, my mood quickly changed into a happy one. Then I quickly calmed down my emotions that are going through a roller coaster. Then I asked Tifa, "Tifa dear, can you please tell me more about the ranks, as I want to know more about my system?" "Of course darling, Gacha rewards are divided in ranks, starting from trash -80%, common -9%, uncommon -4%, rare -3%, epic -1%, legendary -0.8%, mythical -0.7%, demigod -0.5%, god -0.1%, where everything above epic rank is very special as they are directly fused with the host's soul, just like your gamer's mind skill, which is a god rank skill. Whereas the development skills like swordsmanship, F, and hand-to-hand fighting, F, can also evolve from E rank to X rank by maxing out their class on every level, and their evolution path is like this: E, F, D, C, B, A, S, 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 S plus X. For example, just like in games," explained Tifa. Understanding the rankings, I asked Tifa, "Now dear, can you open the system for me? Let's buy that chakra training manual." With seriousness in my voice and happiness in my heart. "Of course, darling." Saying this, Tifa pulls up the shop page for me. Shop, basics, skills, bloodlines, weapons, farm. Alright, the things I want to buy must be in the basics. I want a basic chakra cultivation and training manual. "Oh, here it is," I said as I found what I was searching for. Basic shop, rare rank, chakra cultivation and training manual from the world of Naruto. Cost, 225 SP. "Buy it and stuff it in the inventory please, I request." 1 chakra cultivation and training manual bought, 9775 SP remaining. "Tifa, what do you think? Is there anything else that I need to buy?" I asked for Tifa's opinion. "How about a clemency skill? It will be very helpful for you in controlling your emotions and increasing your thinking speed while strengthening your mental shields," said Tifa after thinking seriously. "Okay, so let's buy it," I said and searched for the clemency skill. Skills shop, rare rank, clemency, E. Keep your thoughts to yourself. Cost, 500 SP. Buy it, I confirm resolutely. Clemency, E. Skill bought, 9275 SP remaining. A rush of knowledge entered my head and my mind felt more organized. I instinctively knew how to train it. After that, I also decided to use the Tensigan eyes, as I thought Tifa would be happy with us having matching eyes. When I clicked on the Tensigan eyes placed in my inventory, 2 Tensigan eyes made up of pure chakra energy materialized in front of me. After floating for a moment, they turned into 2 energy rays and entered my eyes, and then my eyes started to heat up, but strangely it doesn't feel uncomfortable. Instead, it gave me a soothing feeling which washed my whole body. Sometime later, the heat in my eyes died down, and when I opened my eyes, I could see everything more clearly than before. If previously I was seeing everything in 480p, then now I am seeing everything in 4K. Just as I was experiencing this new feeling, I heard Tifa's happy voice. "Foo, I am very happy darling, now both of us have matching eyes." In return for things, I just smiled as there was no need for me to say something as both of us were aware of each other's feelings. "Darling, the sun has risen. I advise you to get ready, as I am sure you don't want to be late on your first day of the academy," Tifa reminded me, just like a housewife, to remind her husband that he is going to be late for the office, and it filled my heart with the warmth that I desired so much in my past life. After my last family member, my grandfather, passed away in my previous life due to COVID-19. "Okay, but before that, Tifa, can you please take care of the farm in my place?" I asked Tifa. "Of course, darling, I will, as this is our home," Tifa replied. "Okay, and please also register the turnip seeds and potato buds that we got in the starter pack on the farm," I reminded Tifa. "Sure darling, anything else?" "Yes, I love you," I said. "I love you too darling," Tifa replied. After all this, Tifa went to take care of the farm, where I went to a nice bath, in the common bath, which is obvious to have in the dorms of the Royal Academy, as only the children of rich merchants live in dorms, not the noble children. They directly came from home every day. But to my disappointment, the bath itself wasn't very extravagant, only a bucket and soap, no bathtub. What type of Royal Academy is this, man? That's why I have decided to buy a house on the farm and take a nice bath in its bathroom from now on. Well, there is also another reason behind this decision, and it is that this body has many scars on it, and when Tifa came to know about it, she advised me to buy a healing potion at the cost of 100 SP, which healed all of my scars. Now, after seeing my body, nobody can say that it was filled with all types of scars previously, and thus to avoid such a situation, we have decided to take such a decision. While complaining about all this, I get ready for my first day in the Royal Academy of the Kingdom of Beltrum, after which I left the dorms and went to the Royal Academy and waited near the stairs leading to the teachers' laboratories, as it is where Celia and I plan to meet today. Chapter 3, Royal Academy, Part 1. After waiting for some time, Celia came and was shocked to see my eyes. Skipping the greetings, she directly asked me, "Rio, what happened to your eyes? Are you having problems seeing?" Being overwhelmed by her questions, I kept silent for some time, and then just as Celia's anxiety was at its peak, I spoke. "I don't know, they were already like this ever since I woke up today. And no, I have no problem seeing, it's the same as before." Celia let out a sigh of relief on hearing that my eyesight is okay, but still, there is a genuinely concerned expression on her face. After a second of thinking, she said, "That's good, but still, do you mind if I were to check your eyes with my magic?" She asked for my permission, to which I replied with a simple nod. Conjuring and magic circle, Celia placed it in front of my eyes, and then removed her hands after some time, with an expression of relief on her face as she said, "That's good, there is nothing wrong with your eyes." After that, Celia asked me some follow-up questions about how my injuries are, to which I replied as they are okay. Then we moved to her laboratory, as the academy provides one to each teacher, where she gave me some instructions for my safety, as I, an orphan, is going to study with children that are nobility and rich merchants. Taking the opportunity, I also told her that I don't know how to read and write, as the original Rio became an orphan at a young age. To help me with this, Celia arranged some private lessons for me after school, as this world uses a different language than what was used in my past life. 30 minutes later, we were walking down the hallways that Celia was leading me through. I followed after her quietly as I observed her frame and appearance. Her frame is a little small for her age. If I remember correctly, she must be 12 years old right now, but she looks like 11 years, as her height is around 140 centimeters, just a head taller than me, who is 127 centimeters tall. "How does your new uniform feel?" Celia asked, looking back at me as we walked. "It's not bad. The fabric is sturdy and easy to move around in," I replied, lightly moving both of my arms in the uniform as testing the feel of it. "It's been custom made based on the requests of many generations of students. After all, it can also act as a military uniform," Celia said. "I see. So that's why the design is like a knight's uniform," I said as I thought, "Well, it's certainly like that. Right now I'm feeling like I'm cosplaying." I even heard the camera clicking in the background with Tifa's giggle, but I ignored it and decided to balance the score on a later date. "Right, isn't it cool? The girl's uniform is cute too," Celia said with a playful smile. "Ahaha." I laughed awkwardly. I am looking forward to seeing the girl's uniform, as the Royal Academy's uniform is stylish. As Celia had said, the design was like that of a knight's uniform. The boys wore pants, while the girls had skirts. While there were some minor differences in design here and there, the overall functionality of each uniform was the same. We've arrived. Chatting while we walked, we reached Celia's classroom. The noisy class could be heard on the other side of the door. Inside, the spoiled children of royalty and nobility were enthusiastically talking to each other before the homeroom started. "This is it," I thought as I mapped the entire route to the classroom with the help of my newly organized mind. "You don't seem that nervous," Celia noted. "That's not true." I gave a small shrug. "Really, you look fairly composed to me," Celia said while noting my body language and facial expressions. "I've been told that my emotions don't show easily on my face because I lived in the slums," I answered with a bitter smile. "Is that so? Well, all right, let's go inside," Celia said and opened the door. A hushed silence fell over the hustle and bustle of the classroom. "Good morning, everyone," Celia said. "A new student will be joining our class today. Rio, come inside." She walked into the classroom and stepped up onto the teacher's podium. "Excuse me." With a quick bow, I followed Celia into the classroom. The inside of the classroom was spacious, almost like a small hall. The teacher's podium sat at the front of the room, facing the desks that were fixed to the tiered floor that elevated those at the back of the room. There were roughly 40 people in the class, with 3 classes each year. I stepped up onto the podium and felt the stabbing looks of all the students in the room. Whispers spread from every corner. "Huh, so that's the orphan being admitted." "An orphan? Someone like that enrolled into this prestigious academy?" "Yeah, I heard from my father that he was enrolled as a reward for a commendable deed. Are you sure it isn't some kind of mistake?" And so on. The male students conversed curiously. It seemed like the rumor of an orphan enrolling had already spread. As for the female students' reactions, black hair is a rare sight. "Yes, I was wondering what kind of animal would show up, but he has a surprisingly cute face. But what's the matter with his eyes? I have never seen eyes like those ever before." These kids kept adding more comments about my appearance in their evaluation, mainly about my eyes. Both sides were fairly honorary in their reactions, having already been instilled with the values of nobility that thrived on social standing. The looks they sent me were filled with prejudice, and I make sure to take note of the comments they are giving and attach it with their faces, as to build a database of all their personalities and other things. "Okay everyone, quiet down. He's going to introduce himself," Celia said with a small sigh as she looked around the room. Once the students had stopped whispering, I took a step forward. "My name is Rio. By the grace of His Majesty the King, I have been immeasurably blessed to attend this honorable learning space. I am lacking in more than several aspects, but I will do my utter best not to cause any inconveniences to anyone here. I humbly beg your tolerance." I finished my introduction and greeting with a deep bow. It was a satisfactory introduction that bordered on being too polite for a 7-year-old. But this level of humility was probably just right when it came to introductions in front of royalty and nobility. Celia had helped me create this greeting as well. Sure enough, mine and Celia's predictions as to how the class would react were not wrong. Part 2. Sure enough, mine and Celia's predictions as to how the class would react were not wrong. Well, it seems he has the right level of respect, at least. Yeah, he can speak as adequately as a servant, at least. So orphans can talk like that. At the very least, my speech hadn't brought about any dissatisfaction. That being said, no one applauded me, either. They spoke as though they were observing a rare animal, clearly looking down on me. Though I might be a student of the Royal Academy from today onwards, I still had been an orphan until recently, and my existence is far beneath them for now. But I can't help but feel happy to think about what will be their expressions in the future when they will come to know about my true identity as a. But it has to wait. First I have to meet my grandparents and restore the image of my parents in the eyes of the citizens of that kingdom. Just as I was looking around the class, I spotted a familiar face among the students staring at me. Seated next to a window at the back of the classroom was someone with long, lavender hair that was tied back with a beret. Beside her sat a cute girl with blonde ringlets. The lavender-haired girl, Christina Beltram, glared at me before turning her nose away with a huff. The thought had passed through the mind of the previous host of this body in the audience hall too. From the outside, she seemed to hate, but that's not true. Her character is that of a young girl who behaves indifferent towards everything on the outside, but from the inside, she is different from others. She wants to talk to me and thank me for saving her sister and apologize for her previous behavior, but can't due to as her status as the princess doesn't allow it. The same is true with her sister, Flora, who wants to thank me for saving her life, but can't due to most of the time being followed by her guards and other kids. And right now I can see the concern in both of their eyes. Must be because of my new eyes, and it is only due to them that I am able to capture all these small details. Otherwise I wouldn't have been able to register even a quarter of what I am registering right now. Well, it's probably best not to get involved for now. Alright, from today onwards, Rio is one of our classmates. He may be unfamiliar with many things, so please help him out when he needs it. I hope you all get along well, Celia said in a bright voice, breaking the heavy atmosphere in the room. But there was no response from the students. Celia gave a small sigh. Okay Rio, why don't you sit in one of the empty seats? That'll be your assigned seat from now on. I would recommend the one at the very front. It would be easier for Celia to keep an eye on me there. Understood. I moved to the open deck at the front of the classroom and lowered myself into the seat. That's all the announcements for today, so let's dive straight into the lesson. At the Royal Academy of Beltram, the teachers changed with every subject, and the homeroom teacher wasn't necessarily the teacher for all of the subjects. Fortunately, my first lesson at the Royal Academy was an arithmetic class taught by Celia. Just like what happened in the novel, when the class started, Celia announced that today she will be giving us some questions on 4 basic operations and then some more advanced problems. While all of the kids were doing that, one of the kids noticed me, just sitting there doing nothing. So, being the prick he is, he complained to Celia about it, only to get the reply that due to me being the orphan I don't know how to write. Knowing this, except for Flora, Christina, and Roanna, as they have seen my appearance as an orphan in the slums, while the latter two with Celia were looking for the former. Except them, every student looked at me like I killed their puppy, and internally I was thinking, man, I know I am handsome, but I am only interested in girls, for which I earned a sweet giggle from Tifa. After Celia calmed down the class, everyone returned to their work, and I started training my occlumency skills. After the first class was over, it was break time. Celia left the classroom to head to her next class, leaving the students behind. A strange atmosphere then descended upon the classroom, and countless gazes fell upon the empty space that surrounded me. Who sat by himself at the front of the room. Whisper, whisper, whisper. Seems like he can't do arithmetic. He was just listening to it the whole time. It must be because he didn't take the entrance examination to get in. He's an orphan after all. An orphan. There's no way he's had a proper education. I bet he can't even read the characters. Wow, why did they let someone like that into the school? Some of them were intrigued, or amused, by the sight of an orphan they normally wouldn't come into contact with. As the students were speaking quietly to each other as they stared at me from afar, I could hear them giggling to themselves. Well, they'll get bored eventually. While they were doing this, I was collecting information about them from the communication and whispers between them, while also talking with Tifa in my mind from time to time. Just as I was minding my own business, I heard a girl's voice addressing me, and as I turned towards the direction where the voice came from, I saw Roanna standing there. Then I remembered this event, and just as I thought, after a reply, Roanna said the same lines as in the novel about how I am not worthy of being in this school, which is basically true, as I don't even know how to read and write right now. Then just as Roanna was going to continue, the second-generation young master, who is not even valued by his own father, called Alphonse, came and spouted words that I muted as they were filled with a strong sense of prejudice. And unlike the novel, I don't even try to say anything and let him keep spouting. After some time, even Roanna, a nobility like him, was disgusted and ordered him to leave, and thankfully he did just that, otherwise my ears were going to rot from hearing his nonsense. After Alphonse leave, Roanna continued our previous talk, and after indirectly saying that she came here on the behalf of Princess Christina, she indirectly suggested to me that if I want to live a quiet life in this academy, then I need to show some effort and leave behind good results in the examinations at the end of every school semester. Saying this, she left. After all this time passed by, I continued training my occlumency skills, while keeping an eye on what was going around me, and just like that, the first day of the school ended just like that, and students packed their things and left. Part 3. Leaving the class, I, alone, made my way to the library tower where the instructors' research labs were located. The library took up 3 floors of the tower, with the remaining floors allocated to the instructors that taught at the academy. Celia's laboratory was in one such space underneath the tower. The ground floor entrance of the library opened to an exorbitant number of books, crammed snugly into shelves sorted by subject. Although I was curious about what kinds of books were available, I had other matters to deal with today and headed straight for the underground research labs once I'd completed the necessary forms at the reception desk. Once downstairs, the basement consisted of a long passage illuminated by magic lamps. Here it is, I said as I arrived at Celia's lab safely, as I knew the way, having already come to this place in the morning. Knock, knock. I knocked slowly on the door. No response came from the other side of the door. Is she not here? I tilted my head in confusion, but then I remembered she must have forgotten about me coming for the private lessons, so I knocked again, this time with more force. Knock, knock. Still no response. Professor Celia, are you there? Knock, knock. I continued to knock as I was having fun while I called her. Just as I stopped knocking, the door flew open, making me jump in surprise. Luckily, the door had opened inwards. If it were an outward-facing door, it might have smacked me in the face. Oh my god, shut up already. Can't you read the sign? I'm in the middle of something right now, go away. Celia protested loudly as she burst out of the room, but trailed off at the sight of my face. I stared back at her dumbfoundedly. My impression of her as a sheltered and proper noble daughter had flown out the window. I'm here for the individual lessons you mentioned. I started my business hesitantly with a stiff smile under which I was trying to control my laughter. Huh? Ah, yes. Right. Welcome. Yes, I've been expecting you. With a pondering pause and gasp later, Celia recovered herself smoothly with a sweet smile. Just as I thought she forgot, I thought with a strained expression and decided to play along anyway. My apologies for the inconvenience. It's fine, Celia said, smiling a bit abashedly. As your instructor, I can't just leave you behind. Thank you very much. Yes, well, there's no point in standing around, so come on in. Celia turned around to invite me inside and immediately stiffened. As she thought, oh number, I forgot he was coming so I didn't clean the room. What's wrong? I asked from behind a silently panicking Celia as I enjoyed her reaction, and if she were to know that I am enjoying all this, then I am sure to receive a cute pouting glare from her. Eh? No, nothing. Yes, my room's a little bit messy right now, but pay it no mind. Celia gave me her biggest and brightest forced smile to try and cover up her oversight. Sure, that's fine. I nodded, then stepped into the room and I recoiled at the chaos laid out before me. It was much worse than I imagined. The room was an impressive size of over 350 square feet, but the floor was scattered with documents, books, and other miscellaneous items of unknown purpose to me. There was a desk that was also covered in books and papers, with the leftovers of a light meal, a plate and teacup, stacked at the end. It was hard to believe that this was the room of a cute young laddie. It's normally cleaner than this. I was just a bit busy and my research was at a good stride, so I put it off for later. Celia blushed on noticing my expression, while trying to explain herself, only to be unable to come up with a good response. So as a gentleman, I decided to help her, and when my eye caught the books, I complimented Celia. Those are a lot of difficult looking books. Professor, you're really amazing for such a young age. It was a very low-effort response, but Celia latched onto it. Eh? Yes. I'm only 12 years old. You know, I should still be in the primary division at this age, yet I've already graduated from secondary school. Celia proudly puffed out her small chest. Her cheeks were still a little red, but she seemed grateful for the change of topic. That really is amazing. Right. I actually wanted to dedicate myself to my magic research more, but the researchers here all have to take a part in instructing, Celia babbled. The way she was trying to act mature was strangely cute, making me smile faintly. I'll clear space, so just wait there. Saying this, she began cleaning up the items left on the desk and chairs in the middle of the room. There seemed to be a certain methodology to how the items were haphazardly scattered, which allowed Celia to briskly organize them. Figuring I shouldn't move any of the books and documents myself, I decided to stand back and watch, but I noticed that Celia was bent forward as she cleaned, making her skirt flutter dangerously. Her slender legs had an elegant charm that didn't suit her age. I quickly averted my eyes and sighed at Celia's obliviousness, but as a man of culture, I continued to take glances from time to time. Several minutes later, I and Celia sat opposite each other at her desk, with several writing tools placed before them. Okay, let's start. All right. So where shall we begin? Okay, how about this? Do you know what numbers are and what they mean? I do, I answered immediately. Hearing my reply, Celia gave me some simple oral problems to solve and was surprised that I could do them. Then she gave me some additional questions on a paper, as to how I know that it's an additional problem, simply because even if the numbers and letters are different but mathematical symbols have the same meaning. After that everything went as same in the novel. She asked where did I learn multiplication and division, and I replied that I learned them from my dead mother, and while saying this my expression faintly darkened. Part 4. After that everything went as same in the novel. She asked where did I learn multiplication and division, and I replied that I learned them from my dead mother, and while saying this my expression faintly darkened on its own as I remembered my mother from my past life and the mother of original Rio, and when thinking about the later, anger started to bubble up in my heart. as I remembered how she was killed by Lucius in front of my eyes. And just as I was thinking about her death, an idea came into my mind, an idea of recreating them using the power of Rinnegan from the world of Naruto. As for their bodies, I will try to find them, and in case I am not able to find them, I am sure there must be an item in the system shop for that. While I was thinking all this, Celia's expression clouded over on noticing my dark expression, feeling bad for asking such a thing. Okay. So if that's the case, then that means you can do the basic operations. I'll create some problems for you at the same level as the rest of the class. You can give that a try, said Celia. At the inclination of my head, Celia pulled over a new piece of paper. She began to write question after question on it until there were roughly 20 questions utilizing the 4 different operations. The symbols at the top are the 4 basic mathematical operators. Starting from the left, it's addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Now begin. At Celia's signal, I glanced over all the questions. From the perspective of a college student, the sheet was full of questions that were far too easy for me. I'm done, I said as I finished solving all the questions in less than half a minute. Even if my concentration was on the paper, I didn't miss noticing Celia's look of astonishment. They're all correct. She'd been checking my work as I went, as she was able to give me her assessment immediately. Then that means I won't have any problems with arithmetic. I need to learn the letters next, but there are more of those than numbers, right? I asked. Yes, right, she said. Is something the matter? I asked, puzzled at Celia's short answer. Nothing's the matter. You're just really fast at mental calculations, she asked in curiosity. Is that so? Isn't everyone else in the class at this level? I asked in confusion. No. Only Her Highness, Princess Christina, is at this level. Roanna's also rather fast, but not as fast as you, Celia said with a stiff smile. That was when I realized the blunder I made. I forget an important thing, that not all students are of the same level and are good at everything. Well, I used to do calculations in my head often. My mother said it would come in handy someday. I faltered for a second before making up an excuse on the spot. Is that so? Celia looked at me doubtfully, but I ignored her stare. Do you know if there are any books for children learning to read, Professor? I asked instead. Celia pondered for a moment before answering. There are. I'll give you a list. You can borrow them at the library on your way back, she answered with a small sigh. Thank you very much. It's fine. This is part of my duty as your instructor. So, how was your first day at the academy? Let me know if there's anything you're unhappy with, Celia asked with a teacherly look of concern. The events that happened during today's break flashed in my mind, but I have no desire to tell her all that. It was only my first day here, and the others involved were only children, in the end. So I said, no, it was fine. Really? She asked, and I nodded my head plainly, which seemed to surprise Celia. She looked as though she had more that she wanted to ask, stumbling over her next words. I was just, wondering if you made any friends, she eventually asked, hesitantly. Friends? No, I didn't want to overstep myself by acting overly familiar with the nobles, I stated calmly. Celia seemed a little upset at that. Well, yes, I suppose you're right. That would make things difficult, she sighed. I tilted my head in confusion. What do you mean? Nothing. I just wished I could do more to help you make friends. You know how relationships between nobility can get complicated. There are some children who fuss over their superiority, so I have to watch what I say or they'll be unhappy, Celia grumbled. Aren't you a noble too, Professor? Well, I suppose that's true, Celia sighed with a bitter smile. I don't really have a problem with it. I want to focus on my studies more anyway, I said. Ahaha. Celia laughed awkwardly at my blunt reply. That's what makes you so mature, or boring, I should say. Do you really think so? Yes, noble children may seem precocious, but they're all just attention-craving children at heart. But you're different. You seem to make your every move based on whether you deem it necessary or not. That makes sense. Well, that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's just that you're more independent than I was expecting, so I'm at a loss for what to do. Sorry for saying something so weird. No, thank you for thinking about me. I bowed my head deeply. The other instructors were unlikely to have treated me as kindly as this. As I said, it's my duty as your teacher. If anything happens, don't hesitate to come to see me. I don't know if I'll be any help, but I can at least hear you out. Okay, Professor. Just as I was saying that, I saw the expression on Celia's face, openly showing that she wants to do something to help me, so I think of something and decided to give it a try. Professor, since you're so much concerned about me not having any friends, then how about you yourself became my friend? I asked Celia as I tried my luck. The result was as I expected. Celia had a shocked expression at first, which later changed into thinking one, just as I expected, since I knew that she is a one-in-a-century genius, which means like other geniuses she must not have many friends outside her family. Adding it with the fact that she doesn't have a prejudice against me like most of the students, I decided to try my luck, and my luck worked as she said. Well, that's not bad. If you are comfortable with me being your friend, then I am also okay with it, she said with her voice filled with expectation. Yes, Professor, it would be my pleasure to have you as my friend, I said as I returned Celia's warm smile with a soft one of my own. Chapter 4, Quests and Rewards. Part 1. After making Celia my first friend in this world, I took my leave from her lab after she handed me a list of books for the first year that I could get from the library. So I went there first and borrowed the books from the library, which was very easy with Celia's recommendation letter. After which I returned to the dormitory, which I didn't notice previously but is a tower on the academy grounds. The room assigned to me is on the top floor, that had a great view which I had previously overlooked, as I had just transmigrated to this world at that time and had to get ready to attend the Royal Academy. Climbing up the stairs, I made it to my dorm room. Putting the borrowed books on the table, I moved a chair next to the window and gazed at the outside scenery. It is still evening, and the sky is now tinted with rosy red. The dormitory tower of the academy sat on elevated land that overlooked the capital of Beltrand, which is a plus for me as it allows me to have a view of the city and its surrounding farms. That being said, most of the scenery in my field of view is wilderness and nature. A dense, overgrown forest spread widely before huge towering mountains, leaving the area of human civilization very small. Adding another plus for me as it is going to be my exploration field in the upcoming future for an unknown amount of time. I am sure in it I will find many types of plants and other vegetation that would be beneficial for the leveling of my farm. After having enough of the scenery in front of me, I decided to finally have the first look at my farm and most importantly my first wife, Tifa. Deciding on my next action, I quickly opened the system interface and directly opened the portal in the room that leads to the inside space of my farm world. Stepping into the portal, I disappeared from this world, only leaving behind an empty room with a portal at its center, which also disappeared into nothingness a second later after my disappearance. Stepping out on the other side of the portal, I found myself in front of a wooden cabin that covers an area of 1,000 square feet. On looking round a little, I found the warehouse used to store farm tools, mature crops, livestock, crop seeds, etc. Near it, I also found the pond and a large field on which are planted radishes, turnip, and potato in equal portions, with all of them being near maturity. Just as I was looking at the beautiful scenery in front of me, suddenly someone covered my eyes from behind, which startled me a little as I wasn't attentive enough. After a second, the culprit whispers sweet words in my ear that every man waits to hear when he enters his home after a long, hard day of work. Welcome back, darling Tilda. Hearing these sweet honey-like words, my entire body relaxed in Tifa's embrace, as she hugged my small frame from behind. While Tifa was still hugging my body, I changed my posture a little so that I could see Tifa with my own eyes. And what I saw next left me stunned for some time as her beautiful face came into my view, and Tifa giggled on seeing my stunned expression. A second later, my stunned expression changed into a happy one as I also hugged Tifa and whispered in her ear, "I am home, honey." After a long, comfortable hug, both of us moved into the wooden cabin that has all the furniture and other necessities for two persons to comfortably live in it. There we talked for a while, as both of us talked about how our day went, ending telling each other how our respective days went. I asked Tifa a question that I previously forgot to ask this morning. Tifa, can you explain why my level is currently 0? How can I increase it, as I can't see a progress bar beside it? I asked Tifa with curiosity in my heart. Oh, that? I don't know, said Tifa, making me dumbfounded at the bluntness of her reply. Then after a short pause in her explanation she continued, as level is something that represents where you stand on the omniversal power scale, so it is based on different things like your attributes, your combat power, your battle experience, and so on, which is also why your level is currently 0. due to lack of attributes and battle experience. But don't worry, your level will automatically increase when you will meet the necessary conditions," said Tifa as she ended the explanation. Hearing this, I felt relieved as I finally got the answer to one of the two questions that were at the back of my head all day long. So I asked Tifa my second question: "So what is the level of this world in which I am currently in?" Hearing my question, Tifa gave a quick reply. "Originally, this world is supposed to be a middle world of the Multiverse, but due to some higher being coming to this world, which is followed by a lot of changes to this world's level and its spatial boundary, at the end of which the level of this world is elevated to that of a lower world of the upper verse, with the max power level being 1 million. Tifa explained. Understanding all this, I continued my talk with Tifa about some more miscellaneous topics, at the end of which, Tifa gave me a surprise in the form of 2 quests under the mission feature of my system that I had asked for, so that I can create quests for myself and get appropriate rewards from the system at their completion. And right now, the system is showing part 2. And right now, the system is showing that I have 2 such quests that are marked completed. Seeing this, I became confused as I didn't remember creating any quest for myself. Just as I was thinking about it, I heard Tifa giggling beside me while looking at my confused expression. Then, I understand that it's all Tifa's handiwork. So, I asked her and she tells me that, yes, she is the one who created these 2 quests based on the knowledge of the future that both of us possesses and the present situation outside. And I have to say that she has done me a great favor, as the description of these quests and the rewards I got on their completion are: quest completed. Objective: today is your first day at the Royal Academy. Since you are the odd one among them, try to keep an eye on your surroundings in the academy and gather information about your classmates, and be attentive towards hidden friendly guidelines from your classmates. Evaluation: SSS. Rewards: 5x 100 SP, due to SSS rating. Talent: Aticates. Uke. Quest completed. Objective: become friends with someone from the academy on your first day. Rewards and evaluation based on the person befriended. Evaluation: SSS plus, befriended with Celia Claire. Rewards: 6x 200 SP, epic rank Shadow. SSS plus, skill, precise mana control. Uke, skill, Shadow. R, skill, want to do more in a day than what you can do right now. Then be happy, as this skill allows you to create a shadow avatar with the same as your stats, under level 100,000. Life limit: 15 days. Current limit 1, plus 1 avatar will be added at 2 levels. Cost: 600. Precise mana control. Uke, skill, have an easy time controlling mana. Talent: Aticates. Uke, know the proper procedure required by good breeding or prescribed by authority to be observed in social or official life. Claiming the rewards, I instantly acquired knowledge regarding Aticates, knowledge of how to control mana with more precision, and how to use the best reward among them all. The shadow skill, as its description says, allows me to create a shadow avatar that has the same stats as mine, with a lifetime limit of 15 days for every shadow avatar. During this time they will not need any additional energy from me. They will directly absorb it from the shadow dimension, and they will directly disappear by their 15th days, after which I will be able to recreate them. And according to the knowledge I just gained, these shadow avatars have a special ability that allows them to change their physical shape at will, or allows them to travel in the shadow world, which can also be used to store things, making them best for espionage and stealing things secretly, as they can also transmit to me the real-life audio and visual of that it is seeing in the real time. I can also switch places with it if needed at the cost of energy. Other than that, they can be used for skill level grinding, as once they recombine with my shadow, I will gain all their progress including muscle memory, but they neither can be used to grind mental skills like occlumency, nor the cultivation of energies that require the original body. So for now I can only grind my swordsmanship and hand-to-hand skills. That's why, after a quick talk with Tifa, I started working on my precise mana control skill, while Tifa cooks dinner for both of us. Half an hour later, after getting the hang of controlling mana, I took a small break as I waited for my MP to recover. And when it recovered completely, I first called Tifa, as I am sure after using the shadow skill I am going to feel sluggish or unconscious at most, as it will consume my entire MP reserves to create one shadow avatar. For this reason, I called Tifa so that she can take care of my sluggish body, or in case I became unconscious. Telling Tifa my plan, I persuaded her to allow me to do it, which wasn't easy as the motherly side of her personality acted. After persuading Tifa at the cost of some cuddling time with her, then after giving Tifa the signal that I am going to start, I activated the shadow skill for the first time, and in just 3 seconds my entire MP reserves became empty and I started to lose consciousness, and the last thing I saw was the shadow avatar I created. Then I feel being embraced by something soft before passing out from mana deficiency. Chapter 5, Acquiring Chakra, Part 1, Time Skip, 2 hours. It has been 2 hours since I lost my consciousness due to mana deficiency, and 30 minutes since I regained consciousness. Right now I am facing my shadow avatar, which has the appearance of a humanoid shadow. Currently, I am checking how it feels when it shares its senses with me, and I have to say it feels really bizarre as, during sense sharing, I receive double the amount of information that I always receive. Like I see from 2 views, hear sound from 2 different perspectives, and so, one set of information is from my perspective and another one is from the perspective of my shadow avatar. And due to the intake of a large amount of information, I can't use it for more than 10 seconds now, and if this time limit is passed then my head starts to hurt due to information overload. After checking this, I ordered it to practice swordsmanship for the next 30 minutes using one of the wooden swords that I just bought as a set of 10 from the shop at a cost of 20 SP. Then learn the language of this world from one of the books that I borrowed from the library. So after handing over the necessary books to him, I went inside the wooden cabin, where Tifa was waiting for me with the dining table filled with food. Seeing this scene, a small smile found its way to my lips as they formed a small upward arc. Tifa's cooking is excellent and both of us enjoyed a fantastic dinner, as we talked about my plans for this world. And during this talk, Tifa raised a very important topic that I had almost forgotten. So what are you going to do about the girl called Latifa, your future adopted sister? She is also a reincarnated person just like you and the other girl. But the only difference between you two and her is that the circumstances of the girl she has reincarnated as are not so good, said Tifa as she finished her dinner and walked towards the kitchen counter to wash the dishes, leaving me alone at the dining table. I thought to myself, how can I forget something so important? After I calmed down my self-blaming emotions, I also picked up my dishes and walked up to the kitchen counter and using a stool to reach the appropriate height, started washing my dishes alongside Tifa as I thought of a plan of rescuing Latifa from the place where she is enslaved at, as I have my own set of values from my previous life, and after knowing that there is someone in such a situation and I have the power to help them, then I see no harm in doing so. And thus, as I continued to wash my dishes, my mind worked on overdrive, formulating a plan to rescue Latifa as soon as possible with the help of information I knew about her life after reincarnation from the light novels. While I was thinking all this, I didn't see but Tifa had a motherly smile on her face as she looked at my serious face as I thought of a plan. After washing the dishes, both of us are now sitting beside each other on the sofa while drinking a cup of hot coffee bought from the system shop. Tifa, I would like to thank you for reminding me of such an important piece of information, I said to Tifa with a grateful expression on my face. Hearing my words, Tifa giggled a little, while covering her mouth with her hand, and then she said, "Dear, there is no need for you to say thank you, since as your wife it is my responsibility to take care of your shortcomings. So don't mind such small things," she said while grabbing my free hand and giving it a little squeeze, which I also returned with my own. So then I told Tifa about the plan that I have created to rescue Latifa, and I plan to let my shadow avatar follow Alphonse to his house, where it would use a device, bought from the system shop, that would let it know Latifa's location if she is under the range of the device, based on her soul that is a reincarnated person such as mine. Then once it found Latifa, I would change positions with it and rescue her, and then again swap positions with my shadow avatar to return to my dorm, thus completing the rescue without anyone knowing that it was me. But still I don't know how many days it would take to find her, I said with a little concern in my voice. Dear, don't think about how much time you would take. Instead, try to improve yourself in this amount of time so that you can rescue her successfully without any problem when the time comes, said Tifa. She hugs me, and her warmth disperses my gloomy thoughts, and I started to think about how to improve my strength as fast as possible. For this I need a goal, which I have already decided, which is to revive Ryo's parents, as now they are also my parents after mine. Haruto's and Ryo's souls have combined into one. After this talk, I returned to my dorm room as it is not good for me to disappear for a long amount of time. And I made the right decision, as just as I returned the dorm manager came to inspect if I am in my room or not. Successfully deceiving the dorm manager, I decided to try the chakra cultivation method that I bought from the system shop this morning. Taking it out from my inventory, I gave it a read. It first gave an introduction about the chakra energy itself, that a chakra itself is the combination of both physical and spiritual energy in equal amounts, which when combined with the natural energy in equal proportions, then create the senjutsu energy, that increases the user's physical and spiritual attributes as long as the senjutsu energy is consumed. Part 2. After this, it talks about the process to combine physical and spiritual energy to cultivate a chakra. As noted, it also talks about how the maximum chakra energy reserves for a person is limited by her own physique and spiritual energy in the present time. In other words, everyone has a limit to how much chakra they can have at a specific age in their life, which is directly proportional to their physical, body strength and spiritual, mental strength. As a strong body is needed to store a large amount of chakra and a strong mind, soul is needed to control it with better efficiency. This is why in the Naruto world, the chakra reserves of ninjas increase automatically as they grow from a child to an adult as their physical and spiritual strength increases. Then that's why ninjas reach their maximum amount of chakra reserves in their primes, which is around 25-40, as this is the time when the human body possesses maximum physical and mental strength. Then as they grow older after the age of 40, their maximum chakra reserves start to decrease as their body starts to lose physical strength and mental strength. Then in the last part, it talks about the process to cultivate senjutsu chakra and then how to cultivate immoral sage body by using this senjutsu chakra. It also talks about the minimum chakra reserves that a person needs to have to cultivate senjutsu chakra without being afraid of being turned into a stone figure due to absorbing a large amount of natural energy, which happen when the absorbed natural energy overwhelmed a person's own chakra, which in turn turns her into a stone. Other than these two processes, it also contains the process and theory on how to increase chakra density and increase its purity, which will come in handy when I have large chakra reserves. So after reading it twice to completely understand the chakra cultivation process, I started the cultivation process as I tried to combine my physical and spiritual energy, but failed every time for the first half an hour. But later on my 46 tries, I finally succeeded, as I received the following notification from the system. Chakra energy acquired. Receiving this notification, I quickly opened my stats and there I saw a new attribute, called chakra, just below the Moma, magic. I continue to see my stats as my maximum chakra reserves continue to increase automatically from 5, 10, 20 and so on, as this process of combining physical and spiritual energy was the first time thing. And after acquiring the chakra, one's reserves automatically increase with time as her physical and mental strength increases. After 5 minutes, my chakra reserves finally stopped increasing as they reached a mark of 100, which according to the system is equal to that of low genin reserves. And somehow I feel super energized after acquiring chakra both physically and mentally. It must be because the chakra itself is the combination of physical and mental energy. Now I understand why Naruto was even more energetic than Jonin during his childhood. No wonder the level of chakra he possessed as an Uzumaki and as the Jinchuriki of Kurama the nine-tailed beast. Then to put this energy into good use, I pick up one of the books I borrowed from the library and start reading, but before that, I bring my shadow avatar out of the farm and order it to combine with my own shadow and transfer all the experience and knowledge it has gained. After gaining all the experience and knowledge it has learned in the last 3.5 hours, I became as good as a 5-year-old at reading. So using the newly gained knowledge, I started reading the book I picked before while my shadow avatar continued to learn how to read and write. 2 hours later, at 10:30 p.m., I finally closed the book I was reading and once again ordered my shadow avatar to combine with my shadow and transfer all the knowledge it had gained. After going through the newly gained knowledge, I went to sleep after ordering it to continue practicing swordsmanship inside the farm and then wishing good night to Tifa. At the end of my first day in this world, my stats sheet looked like this. The end. Thank you for listening. Like and share this video and subscribe the channel for notification alert for the continuation of this audiobook series.